तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। गुरुरादिर्नादिश्च गुरुः परमदैवतम् गुरोः परतरं नास्ति तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव।
ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। 10 more verses for the Satasloki. I don't know when we started, maybe 2 years ago, or maybe it was 3. I don't remember. Maybe somebody remembers. So now it is going to, it's just a summation. After the 90th verse, starting with the 90th verse, there is a summation of the Vidya and everything that is been studied thus far. And very beautiful summation with quotes again, which the Satasloki excels with quotes from the various Upanishads, etc. Very, very nice. And so let us look at verse number 90. Okay. यं भान्तं चिद्घनैकं क्षितिजलपवनादित्यचन्द्रादयो ये भासा तस्यैव चानुप्रविरलगतयो भान्ति तस्मिन् वसन्ति विद्युत्पुञ्जोऽग्निसङ्घोऽपि उडुगणविततिर्भासयेत् किं परेशम् ज्योतिःशान्तं ह्यनन्तं कविमजममरं शाश्वतं जन्मशून्यम्. This is a famous verse. Not this verse, but it is based on a very famous verse in the Mundakopanishad. Also comes in Kathopanishad, but Mundakopanishad it is more widely cited, and that is mantra 2 to 10. We'll be seeing it when we study that part of the Mundakopanishad as well in the weekend classes. So here, that famous verse is what? It's the Arti Mantra verse. Arti Mantra. This verse is based on that Arti Mantra. Na tatra suryo bhati na chandra tarakam nema vidyuto bhanti kutoyam agnihi tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati. So here is and there is also a verse in the Bhagavad Gita. Natad bhasayate suryaha shashanko na pavakaha tadgatva na nivartante tadhama paramam mama. So this verse from the Bhagavad Gita and the verse from the Mundakopanishad and this verse, which verse number 90 in the Satasloki, have the exact same meaning. We'll take up Bhagavad Gita first, and because it is very easy to assimilate. So here in this verse in the 15th chapter, Lord Krishna is giving his address, where you can reach me. Where is my home? Pujya Swamiji, even though he was not schooled in computers and emails, etc., or the World Wide Web, he used to joke that Lord Krishna's address must be, website must be Vishnu, email address must be vishnu@vaikunt.org. He would just joke like that. So here, there is some kind of a address being given. And what is that? Where should I look for you, O Lord? Where the sun does not shine. Natad bhasayate surya. Oh, okay. The Lord lives in a romantic moonlit place. Na shashanka. No moon. All right, maybe we have some fire torches or something to illuminate. Na pavakaha. No lightning, no stars, no firebrand, nothing. Oh, this looks like a pitch dark place. Little scary. And as though that was not enough, there is a promise. Yadgatvana nivartante. Once going there, the person doesn't come back. Bhagavan is a black hole which siphons off every source of light and it doesn't emit anything. You don't come back. You're trapped in a dark place. No. The idea is that the I, the Atma, is seen as Jyotisham Jyotihi. To quote the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Jyotir Brahmana. Brahmana here means chapter, not Brahmana Kshatriya. Brahmana means chapter. So here there is a chapter that is devoted to understanding Atma as that which lights up everything. Atma as light is based on our reliance on our eyes. Because out of the pratyaksha pramanas, out of all the 5 pramanas, the eyes have a certain pradhanya. The eyes have a certain, what is that called? Mukhyata. They are important. But what if I cannot see? Well, the seeing here is figurative. Based on how much we rely upon the eyes, the seeing is figurative. Figurative means what? It is metaphoric. It's not literal. Seeing is figurative. Seeing happens, and upon this pair of eyes, from birth to death, we rely on it, on the light of the eyes. And this is going to be taken up in verse 92 actually. So we rely upon the eyes inordinately, so much so. And so, based on that reliance, so that we can assimilate this, the truth of the eye, the metaphor of light is given. For the eyes to see, light is needed. So the light of the Atma, this is the expression. Why? There is another reason as well. Because the Atma lights up everything in the sense that it brings everything to light. Everything is brought to light. Itself doesn't need to be lit up. It is self-evident, self-lit, however you want to call it. Self-evident, self-lit, etc. And so, therefore, it is not at all. It is not at all a issue. Why? Because the Atma lights up everything. And you cannot ask the question. This verse is going to make it adequately clear. What is it in the world that lights up the Atma? Nothing. Nothing lights up the Atma. Oh, then that means it's a dark place. No, here is the mistake we have to rid ourselves of. Nothing lights up the Atma, and nothing needs to light up the Atma. Atma itself is a source of light, so nothing needs to light up the Atma. Just like we don't have to direct a flashlight at the sun to make the sun evident. The sun lights up everything, and itself it is lit up, and so this is what the idea is in this verse. So this is the Gita verse. And the Mundakopanishad mantra is also same. So, same exact, what is that called? Exact meaning. Na tatra suryo bhati. The sun does not shine there. Na chandra tarakam. Nor the stars or the moon. Nor the moon nor the stars. Or maybe lightning. Na ima vidyuto bhanti. These lightnings do not shine. Kutaha ayam agnihi. What to talk of this miserable fire? Why? Because that which makes all these sources of light evident. Imagine how much light we are talking about. That which brings these sources of light, which bring to light all the things in the Jagat. There is a big boss there that brings these sources to light. Yes, the sun lights up the eyes and enables them to see. But what is it that lights up the sun? What is it that makes the sun evident? That is Jyotisham Jyotihi, the light of all lights. That is what is being talked about here. Very beautiful. And something which we have studied before, so it's not exactly unfamiliar because it has come in so many, even in the Satasloki, in so many ways, and in other Vedanta texts. So, if you have been doing some Shravanam, this is not a foreign idea. This is something which is very much there, and it immediately hits home because all you have to ask is this: the eyes see because the sun or the moon or the fluorescent light, whatever you want to say, some source of light lights up the eyes. But how do you see the sun? How does the sun become evident to you? You cannot say by the eyes, because that is some kind of a, that is some kind of a anyonya ashraya, mutual codependency. The sun becomes evident to you because the eye is self-evident. And the self-evident eye brings everything to light, including the existence of the sun. And the existence of the sun then further lights up the eyes and enables them to see all the other things in the Jagat. In the absence of the sun, the existence of the moon lights up the eyes to be able to see nightlife, all the creatures going around. Nightlife doesn't always mean disco and parties. Okay, yeah. Nightlife can be just walking around in moonlight and watching a hooting owl and some animals there. Some things scurries. You don't even see what, but you can just see that it has just scurried into its little. After seeing who doesn't belong in this nightlife, it has taken one look at you and scurried to safety. And then there is like this, there are so many things going on. There is a wind, and the wind can be sensed in the shadow of the trees, which is because of the light of the moon falling. All this you can sense. But then that the light of the moon is bringing things to light, the flying things, the scurrying things, and the shaking leaves of the shaking branches of the trees, etc. But what is bringing to light the moon? Oh, the moon is self-lit, or we can say the moon may be self-lit. But the existence of the moon you have to cognize before it can light up other things. That is the idea. So neither the sun shines there, nor does the moon shine, nor the lightning. What to talk of this fire, nor the fire. Because the fire itself has to first become evident to you. Before you bless it to light up, you permit the fire to bring other things to light. When tameva bhantam, when that light alone shines, in the presence of that light, bhati means everything, when I shine, bhami, when I shine, bhati, when this light shines. Sarvam anubhati. Anubhati means it shines later. It takes the presence, it borrows the presence of the light of all lights, which is the light of consciousness, which is myself alone, and then shines after. Anubhati. After means later. Later here is, this is no time lapse. There is no time gap. Later only in the sense of our understanding. So when you cognize something in the Jagat, it depends on your own cognition of yourself, which comes first. That's the idea. Which precurses this, which pre-exists this. That is the idea. That is how we have to look at it. Very, very beautiful. And so this is the Mundakopanishad mantra, and we have seen the Gita verse, and then that will become the springing board to understand this verse, which is exactly the same. Yam bhantam, that which shines, when that shines, yam bhantam, what is that? Chit ghana ekam. Ekam, there is only one. What? Chit ghana, nothing but chit. Again, as I said, don't translate it as a mass of chit, because then a mass means it occupies some space somewhere, and so then it is, if it is there in the antahkarana, in the heart, then there will be some places which are not lit up by this mass. No, it's nothing but chit, nothing but consciousness. When that consciousness shines doesn't mean like an isotope. Shines means it is emitting knowledge, so to speak. It is non-separate from knowledge. It is bringing things to one's awareness. That which is bringing things to light, meaning it's in the form of all knowledge, which is recognizing itself in all the objects and bringing everything to awareness. So, yam bhantam, when that shines, what is that? Chidghana ekam, that single consciousness which is all pervasive. Ghana here you can take it as all pervasive, where from the standpoint of the upadhi, that which lights up this body, mind, sense complex, that which lights up everything, then, then the light, what does it light up? Kshiti means earth. Jala, everybody knows, water. Pavana, Vayu, wind. Aditya means sun. Chandra, moon. Adi, and Adi Padat, you can take nakshatras, etc. Which almost sounds like this particular compound sounds like the definition of Lord Dakshinamurti, the five elements, and then the sun and the moon make up the Lord, along with you. You are the Chit Ghana Ekarasa. You are the one that is there watching, and you are the one that is there. You are that consciousness that is bringing the Lord to light. That is what the whole idea is, non-separate from that light, which is illumining the form of the Lord. So, these Kshiti Jala Pavana Aditya Chandradayo Ye Yam Bhantam Bhasa Tasyaiva Cha Anu Pravirala Gatayah Bhanti Tasmin Vasanti. So that light of that one self, which is just consciousness, nothing else is there. It is all consciousness. Because of that light, the earth shines, water shines. Water shines means water comes to light. Water is made evident, and sun is made evident. Air is made evident. Moon is made evident, and etc. means stars and lightnings are made evident. Each of them shine after this light. After means that is the one. That is the one. That is the only one that is there. And each of these lights emitted by these various entities, what happens? They are what? They are pravirala gatayah. Pravirala gati means the way it moves. And pravirala means like peculiar. It also means rare, but in this context, it doesn't mean rare. It means strange. Means the strange means specific to that particular body of light or that particular thing. So the earth also emits a kind of a light when the sun comes on it, on all these things, like a deferred light. The moon, of course, is a borrowed light. The sun does not borrow the light, but it has its own peculiar way where there are certain flares, solar flares, and all these things. It's peculiar because it is intolerable at noon, kind of nice at sunset and sunrise, all these things in summer. So, like this, each one has its peculiar gati. Each one has its peculiar trajectory. Gati here means trajectory. So they all shine, bhanti, in their own ways. Bhasa tasyaiva cha anu. But they shine after. The light is that light is belonging to Chit. So everything borrows from the sun, and the sun borrows its lightability from the Chit. Chit means you, okay? Oh, I am lending my light to the sun. Bingo. Yes, you are. And even though that sounds completely incongruous, completely unbelievable, and it helps to assimilate it when you look at this light, not literally, but with that which by which something comes to be known. That by which everything comes to be known is the sun. That by which the sun comes to be known is you saying, this is called sun. That is what it is. That's all it is. You don't have to overthink this here. So, each of them are shining because of that light of all lights, which brings everything to the foreground, because of which everything can shine. Not only that, the bhanti, they all shine after anubhanti. That anu should go with bhanti here, anubhanti. But then tasmin vasanti. Not only do they borrow the light, but they, as it were, are created from that light. They are a projection of that chit alone, that consciousness, that light of all lights. That is what illumines, that Atma alone illumines. It illumines everything, and it illumines these luminaries as well. Like sun, earth, etc., all of them, whether they are direct luminaries like the sun or indirect luminaries, they all shine after that which is the source of all shining, which shines by itself, which is self-evident, that Atma alone is. And all of them with their peculiar lights and peculiar ways of illumining are all not only dependent upon the Atma, upon the I, they also, quote unquote, emanate from the I. They are a projection of myself alone. This is how we have to assimilate this verse. Tasmin eva vasanti. They stay there only. They reside there. In fact, the abode of the sun is the abode of this antahkarana. This antahkarana, as Satchidananda has, as it were, projected the sun. And the sun emanates, so to speak, from Satchidananda, sustained by Satchidananda, and goes back to Satchidananda when its role to illumine this particular Jagat is fulfilled. Why is its role completed? Because the Jagat itself is not there. What will the sun illumine? Its portfolio is done. Jagat folds up in Pralaya. Folds up means goes back to the Atma Tattva, and the Jagat goes back. And so the sun also cannot remain hanging there in space, because Jagat includes space, Jagat includes time. So the sun also folds up. It has finished its work. That's what it is. And so everything is a projection, an extension of the I. And this is a very nice contemplation, a very nice meditation. Next time you see the sun, or if you even see the clouds, which is an indirect way of seeing the sun. Because you see the clouds, the sun is there, because of whose light the clouds are lit up. And so you cannot say the sun is covered. Sun is as though covered. And then sun can never be covered. And just like that, the Atma is also not covered by ignorance. ignorance being mithya. Atma is Chaitanya Swarupa. It is the form of awareness, consciousness without name, form, nothing to intervene. And so the next time we are aware of the sun, we can have this contemplation. You are an extension of me. You are nothing but myself alone. And this is what the Upanishad also says. And that which is there in the sun, that truth which is there in the sun, is the same as myself. Saya ekaha. It is all one. This is the oneness. That's why this verse is very important. And then it begins the next 10 verses with this nice, what's that? Nice beginning of the summation of everything that we have studied. So, Tasmin Vasanti, Vasanti is very important. Vasanti doesn't mean lives, as though emanates, as though projected, because everything is coming from Brahman. That Brahman is nothing but Atma, I. So, everything is an extension of this I. Then, in the third line, a question is asked, a rhetorical question. विद्युत्पुञ्जः अग्निसङ्घः अपि उडुगणविततिः भासयेत् किं परेशम्? Paresham means here, now this is a Mahavakya here. Paresha means Ishvara, that is Para. Parascha, sau Ishascha. So Paresha means that Ishvara which is beyond everything. Beyond creation, beyond cause effect, that Bhagavan, that which is the truth of this body mind sense complex, that consciousness, that Ishvara. Who can illumine this Atma? That is the question. Who can illumine Bhagavan in the form of this Atma? Who can illumine that light which lends its existence to everything, which lends its consciousness to everything? Consciousness means knowledge. So, which lends itself to everything. Who can illumine this light? Will the candidates please raise their hand? Then you do a little roll call. Vidyut. Vidyut means lightning. Are you there? And the lightning says, no, not me. I cannot illumine this. Vidyut punjaha. Punjaha means, okay, you come in groups. Maybe a group of lightnings. No. No. And then Agni, hello, you showed off in front of Yaksha in the Kenopanishad. Really nicely showed off. And you said, I can do this, I can do that, I can burn the whole world. How about you? No, I learned my lesson with the Yaksha. In fact, that's the only instance where I burnt myself. And so I'm not going to touch this. I cannot illumine this. And then Agni Sangha means the group of all the Kali, Karali, all these things we have been studying in the Mundaka Upanishad. Mano, Java, all these things. So this group of Agni, various iterations of Agni, no. Then Udu Gana Vitatihi. Vitatihi means the spread. Vitatihi, spread. Spread of what? Udu Gana. A group of stars. Udu here, stars. Group of stars. Milky Way. Hello, Milky. Can you come light up the Atma? Milky says, no way. That's when it got its name Milky Way. Yeah, because it said, no way. I can't do this at all. This is beyond me. This is beyond. I am there because Atma is there. All of them said that. And then Bhasayet, would it shine? Would it illumine? Kim, who means the question. Will it illumine that I upon which they all are dependent? None of them raised their hand. None of them came to be recognized. And when the roll call was done, they all went and just hid. And they said, we are dependent for our existence on that Atma which illumines us. How can you flip the script on us like this? This is not how this happens. You got it all backwards. So then, what is this light? What is this light that is so very special? And there it says, Jyotish Shantam. This light is not some kind of a blazing, like we think, oh, if it is just, it is an all consuming fire, like the ones we have in the West Coast every summer. No, 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 no. It is a tranquil light. Jyotihi, but Shantam Jyotihi. The word Jyoti is neuter. Even though many women in India are named Jyoti, but actually it is neuter. It is neuter. Jyotish. And this Jyoti is Shantam. So that is that it goes together. Shantam, neuter, Jyotihi, neuter. So this, don't say neuter light, this tranquil light, this light that is so tranquil. It's not something that is scary. It's not something to be afraid of. It's not some kind of an all-consuming, oh, I'm the best east or west and I have eaten the sun and I'm now eating the lightning and the moon and everything. No. It doesn't have a consuming quality. It has a tranquil sarvagata quality. It has a tranquil, all-pervasive, it is tranquil and all-pervasive. Anantam, all-pervasive, limitless. Oh, Olympic light is also Anantam. No, because Olympic Games had a beginning and they may also have an end. And if they don't have an end, they will certainly end when the Jagat ends. So the Olympic torch, which is kept on being lit, is no match to this torch of all torches. And that which is Anantam means it doesn't have a beginning. It doesn't have an end. It doesn't have any kind of an antecedent. It doesn't have any kind of a cause. It's a causeless cause, as though cause. Kavim. Kavim means this is the Kavi actually means poet, but here that's a colloquial meaning. Kavi means jnani. That's what it is. Duradarshi and jnani. Jnani means the one who knows the Atma is called Kavi. In fact, Ishvara is also called Kavi in the Upanishad somewhere. Kavim Purana Manushasitaram Anoraniyan. Like this Kathopanishad, there is a verse. And, this is the Ishvara is called Kavi. And here the Atma is called Kavi because there is no Atma other than Ishvara. This we have to stop, what is it? Stop thinking like this. There's no Atma other than Ishvara. And so Kavi means Bhagavan. Kavi means, that Atma, which is the light of all lights. And this is all going with Jyoti and Shantam. These are all in apposition, Paresham. So who can light up that which is Ishvara, which is beyond all these things, which is in fact the cause of all these things, which is the light of all lights, which is tranquil, which is all pervasive, which is all knowing, which is beginningless, limitless. Ajam, unborn. It was already said Anantam, but just to make sure, because one is, so fixated on origin. We are all origin fixated, and that explains the popularity of websites such as ancestry.com. See, everybody wants to know where I came from. Everybody wants to know. And so, therefore, this is so Kavim, Ajam, Ajam, okay, Aja doesn't mean goat here, okay, goat is also called Aja, but here it is Najayate iti Ajaha, that which is never born is called Aja, so that Kabim, Ajam, unborn, that all-knowing unborn one, unborn but may be subject to death, no Amaram, not subject to death, Marta nahi hai in Hindi. Amaram doesn't die. So when you say it together, it sounds nice. Kavim ajama mamaram. So it is not subject to birth, not subject to death. This all-knowing, tranquil source of knowledge, which is limitless, shashvatam, unchanging. Like if you have a fire, it when the fuel is there, it goes up, then it comes down, and then it dies. No, unchanging, constant light. Janma shunyam, just to clinch it. That which is free of birth, no death, and always constant. That is one's nature. Very lovely verse for contemplation. Wonderful verse. This you can keep on repeating and keep on looking at. Very nicely put here. Extremely well put and well done. Beautiful. And so, Kavim, Ajaram, Amaram, Shashvatam, Janma Shunyam. Very nice. Is there anything we have left out? No. I think we have seen this. And since there are other uh, mantras which are similar, we can go on. We can go on where to 91. 91. The 91st verse is also beautiful because it talks about Brahma Jnana Phalam. It talks about how is the life of a Brahma Jnani, and how the knowledge is gained is also included. Very, very nice verse. Let us read that. तद्ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मीति इति अनुभव उदिते यस्य कस्यापि चेद्वै पुंसः श्रीसद्गुरूणाम् अतुलितकरुणा पूर्णपीयूषदृष्ट्या जीवन्मुक्तः स एव भ्रमविधुरमना निर्गते नानुपाधौ नित्यानन्दैकधामं प्रविशति परमं Nashta-sandeha-vrittihi. This is again a summation of what is Brahmajnana and how does the person gain it, all that. So, Chet. Let's take the word Chet first. Where is the word Chet? At the end of the first line, it is mixed with Vai. Indeed, if. Chedvai. Chet plus Vai, Chedvai. So, what is this? Indeed, if. If what? Tad Brahmaiva aham asmi. That Brahman alone I am. Tad Brahmaiva, that Brahman. That means what? That which I thought was remote, that which I thought was far removed from me, that which I thought was separate, that which I thought is not locally available, is myself alone. That which I thought was Bhagavan somewhere sitting in heaven, Vaikuntha, Kailasa, heaven, etc., and far removed from this world of suffering and cause and effect and all these things. No, that Brahman, I am alone. I alone am. Iti anubhavaha udite. Udite. When that understanding, anubhava here is not exactly experience, it is understanding. We can say, but why is anubhava used? Anubhava is the word anubhava is used in the form of experience to show that this is not jnanam per se, but jnana nishtha. We talked about jnana nishtha yesterday in the Bhagavad Gita class. That is what it is. So it's different from jnanam. It's a jnanam that is free of errors, vagueness, and any kind of doubts. This is that jnana. So it's a well assimilated knowledge. Anubhava udite. Born of experience, you can't say, born of assimilation, assimilating this knowledge. So the assimilation of this knowledge means being in the knowledge. And it is, so what is the difference between jnanam and jnana nishtha? If you ask, how do I gain jnanam very quickly? But then what is this nishtha? If you say that nishtha means that there is no other pursuit than this. This is how the nishtha comes when Brahman becomes the singularity of pursuit. This is why people take sannyasa. Vividisha sannyasa veditum ichha, in order to know, in order to have the privilege of totally focusing on this to the exclusion of all other roles. Because you see, if you have other roles in life, you're constantly just bickering. And you have to, you're, let's say you're some kind of a manager in an office. Of course, the people are working under you will resent you. That's to be given. Why? Because everybody has authority issues. And say, who is this upstart? And this person is younger than me. Why should I respect? Or this person doesn't. I have more experience, but and my promotion was bypassed for this idiot. Why should I respect her, him? So there is that, there is that they'll not be cooperating. And in order to make them cooperate, you have to do all kinds of things. And then you can't keep scolding them also. So then you have to organize some kind of a appreciation day to appreciate all of them, even though they're not doing any work, because that's the only way of securing their cooperation. So the office is a mess. Oh, what about family life? That's even bigger mess. Yes. constant, constant bickering at home also. You never do this, you never do that. Each spouse is telling the other, you should have done this, you should have done that. Why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? And then if you've been married for some time, then there is a refrain in every marriage. What is the refrain? I told you this will not work. I told you so. I told you. And then I told you is said with a lot of entitlement and indignation. Why? Because I told you and you did not listen, and look where we are. And so this is the story. And then where is Brahman? Poor Brahman hides and says, I don't want to show myself at all. You finish your I told you so. You finish all your shenanigans at the office, then come to me. That is what Atma says. Atma says, this is not going to work. You have too many priorities. That is why Jnanam doesn't get converted to Jnana Nishtha. Jnanam is there, but then what is the use of that Jnanam which doesn't come when it's called? When you have Atma Jnanam, it should be you. It should deliver when needed. So when you are confronted with what used to be earlier a challenging situation, it should not deter you. It should not shake you. That is jnana. It like a pet dog. It comes when it's called. But here, so that is jnana nishtha. And what is jnanam? Jnanam is like a pet cat. Doesn't come when it is called. Sits there and looks at you. Does not come when it says, who are you? You are just a can opener. Two times a day you open the can and give the food. That's all you are. I'm not obliged to come to you. In fact, you are keeping me for your own entertainment. Okay, that's all it is. It's not going to come. But jnana nishtha means it has to deliver when you call it. When you summon whatever you know, it has to deliver. That is jnana nishtha. It comes to your aid when you need it. It is there. It's there all the time, but it is activated when in any kind of what used to be earlier a challenging situation just washes over right now. Why? Because it is all, this jnanam is there in the form of nishtha. This is called anubhava udite. This is what is directly in the Shastra directly experienced. This is what it is. It is a jnanam that is coming to your aid when you summon it. Otherwise, what is the use of having the jnanam that sits there and watches you like an independent cat? Not, I don't do those things. I don't follow commands. I don't fetch. I don't do all kinds of things. So, this is exactly what it is. So here it is clearly Jnana Nishtha is being talked about, not Jnanam. And so this Jnana Nishtha, in this Jnana, when this Jnana Nishtha shines, and how does it shine as? Tad Brahma eva ahamasmi. I am that Brahman alone. And the next verse is going to talk about How? I'm not the body, not the mind, not the senses. And that Brahman alone, that Evakara, is a salute to the verse that is coming. The next verse, the 92nd verse, is going to be talking about that. So, that Brahman alone I am. I'm not the five elements. I'm not the mind. I'm not the body or anything that has originated from the five elements. And then, so then, for when that understanding, that deep assimilated understanding arises, when that comes, for whom kasyapi pumsaha, any pumsaha here should not be translated as man, any kind of person, kasyapi, whosoever it may be, regardless of varna, regardless of ashrama, regardless of gender, regardless of the placement in society, regardless of whether one is rich or poor, high or low, inferior, superior, nothing, anyone who has gained this knowledge, meaning they had the adhikaritvam, they were qualified for this knowledge which they gained, and they also had this, they had also one more thing. It's not enough to be qualified for the knowledge. You need one more thing. What is that? Guru. So they gain the grace of the Guru. They gain this knowledge through the Guru. That is very important, and that's what is going to be pointed out in the next line. So they gained this through the Guru, and then they became Jivan Muktas. They understood this. They became free while living. So how did they gain this from the Guru? Shri Sadgurunam अतुलित करुणा पूर्ण पीयूष दृष्टिया. So, very long compound. Shri Sadgurunam Drishtya will take. Drishtya, through the glance, through the kataksha, through even an accidental look by the Guru. Guru looks at you, and when the Guru looks at you, what kind of a glance it is? It is the Atulita Karuna Purna Drishtya. Atulita, incomparable. Karuna, mercy, compassion. So, a look of unbridled, incomparable compassion. So, if you say, oh, I grew up with, with having a mother who was very compassionate, it surpasses that compassion. I had some teachers who are very kind and compassionate. It surpasses all their compassions put together. That, incomparable compassion. And why is the Guru compassionate? Guru is compassionate because the Guru is Atma. And the Atma is the dynamic form of Atma. If Atma is just itself, it is Satyam Jnanam Anantam. It doesn't have any attributes. It doesn't have any characteristics. But here that Atma is being, as it were, expressed through this body, mind, sense complex of the Guru, which is free of Raga Dvesha. And so the dynamic form of this Atma is Ananda. Love. That's what it is. Karuna here must be translated as love. And compassion. What is this compassion? Compassion is nothing but love. When you feel loving, you feel compassionate. You can't say, I hate this one, but I'm going to be compassionate towards that one. It doesn't work. It is love. So that dynamic form of this Satchidananda is love. When that Satchidananda is poured into an upadhi, the mind, body, etc., which is free of ragadveshas, it just emanates love. That's all it is. It's all love. So then everything is madhuram, like that Madhurashtakam we studied one time long ago. We studied how to chant it, and we also looked at the meanings. Everything is madhuram, sweet, 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 because it's all love. It's a ode to baby Krishna. Adharam, madhuram, all this, everything. The lips are sweet, the flute is sweet, the gate is sweet, everything is sweet. Madhuradhipatehe akhilam madhuram. Everything is sweet. So the Sadguru means the one who teaches Sat, the one who is an embodiment of Sat. who teaches that you are this Sat, that Sadguru is nothing but love. And that love translates into compassion. Another reason is there for the compassion, because the Guru was at one point also a seeker, was a Shishya. The Guru teaches what the Guru studied from her Guru, from his Guru, who studied from her Guru, from his Guru, to an endless lineage going back to Bhagavan. And so, really speaking, the teaching, when you say, Adhihi Bhagavo Brahma, when you go to the Guru and say, please teach me Brahman, really, this is something which is fantastic, because Adi Shankara in the Taittiriya Upanishad translates this into the Bhashya as Madartham Smara. Teaching is remembrance. Teaching for you is a mere remembrance for the Guru. What is the remembrance? Remembering how it was when he or she approached his or her Guru. And so the Guru is not hoity-toity, because filled with compassion, the Guru says, oh, you are no different than me. When I went to the Guru, let me teach you what I learned from my Guru. That's all it is. That's the flow of the knowledge. And so the Guru communicates this knowledge here through that loving glance of acceptance. So then the Guru doesn't need to talk. That is not what it says. Here, what is talked about is that loving, all-embracing glance of oneness itself triggers the Shastra. That is the precursor to the teaching. That's all it is. Atulita Karuna Purna Drishtya. But where is the knowledge? Piyusha Drishtya. Piyusha is there. Don't forget that. Piyusha means that the eyes are dripping with the nectar of knowledge. The eyes are eager to communicate. They are compassionate. They are loving. They are not scary. And they are not Raudra Rupa. They are not, terrifying. They are Saumya. Like a moonlit glance. Like a very soft and kind and a glance of love that is filled with knowledge. A knowledge-filled glance. It's not that the glance communicates, but the glance is the precursor of that knowledge which the eyes carry, which the whole embodiment carries. In fact, the Guru is nothing but the embodiment of knowledge. And what is this Sadguru? Shri Sadguru. Shriya Yukta Sadguru. Shri means Lakshmi. That Lakshmi is so important. Oh, but Lakshmi is not for me. I am into Saraswati. Yes, you are into Saraswati. Correct. But Lakshmi has to bless you to approach Saraswati. Absolutely, there is a mutual blessing of both of them involved. Saraswati also has to bless you in order to gain Lakshmi. But it goes both ways. Lakshmi is not just money, it's abundance. It's getting out of that poverty thinking, scarcity mentality. And that scarcity mentality first is, what is that? Attacks oneself. The scarcity mentality attacks oneself and says, you cannot gain this knowledge. You can't. Why? Because you're married, because you have children, because you were never into Brahman so much, and you don't have what it takes. This is all alakshmi, poverty thinking, scarcity mentality. And the scarcity mentality also is projected onto the Jagat, projected onto the classes, projected also onto the Guru. And this is what it is. So, Shriya Yukta Guru, Sadguru, Shri Sadguru, the one who has eschewed completely, let go of the poverty mentality. That is the Sadguru. And what does the Sadguru teach you? To first to shed the poverty mentality. How do I shed the scarcity mentality? By studying the Upanishad. Yeah, that's why it's called Upanishad. It makes you shed Alakshmi. Then you yourself become Shri. Shri is very important. Because that poverty, scarcity mentality is just like holding on to just what you don't have. It's so ironic. You're holding on to what you don't have all the time. Holding to nothing, more of nothing. Holding wrong ideas, holding on to wrong notions, which come in the way of this knowledge. The Guru is free of that, and the Guru is going to make you free of that, provided you surrender to this knowledge. And this knowledge is communicated. The one who has been blessed by this loving glance, whosoever he or she may be, becomes what? First word in the third line, Jivan Muktaha Saha Eva. Saha Eva becomes Jivan Muktaha, free while alive. How? Brahma Vidhura Manaha Nirgataha. Brahma Vidhura Manaha. Brahma Vidhura Manaha means free of a wandering mind. Free of a mind that is all over the place. Oh, I have to do this, I have to do that. What about me? What's going to happen to me? How is my retirement going to be? And how is my death going to be? All this, the one who is free of all these thoughts, he is whose mind is fixed on the truth of oneself all the time, is called Brahma Vidhura Manaha. This is singular, even though it sounds plural. Brahma Saha Eva Brahma Vidhura Manaha. Brahma Vidhura Manas, Brahma Vidhura Manaha. Sakaranta, so they're like Nachiketas, Nachiketaha, like that. So Brahma Vidura Manaha, and then for this person who is Jivan Mukta, what happens? Nirgatena Adi Upadhau. When the Upadhi, the body mind sense complex, falls off. Not that they'll gain knowledge when the body mind sense complex falls off. The knowledge is gained and one is living freely, free of all perturbances and afflictions. And then finally the body falls off, the mind falls off, the senses fall off. Then there is nothing to come back to. Nothing to come back to. And we'll see this more next time because it's a little more involved. We'll just see the meaning now here. Nityananda Ekadhama Dhamam, it should be Dhamam Pravishati. Enters Satchidananda. Nityananda Ekada, only abode, which is Satchidananda. In other words, enters the truth of one's own nature. But hadn't they entered it before? Yes, this is just a proverbial entering because so that we don't mistake that the Jnani after death comes back. Paramam Dhama, the ultimate abode of one's own self. And then who is this person? Nashta Sandeha Vrittihi. The one whose vrittis are free of all doubts. Who is free of all doubts, enters this abode of no return. Yadgatva nanivartante tadhama paramam mama. In fact, the same words are used. Nityananda ekadhama paramam pravishati. Nashta sandeha vritti. Very beautiful. We'll see more, the last two lines, in the next class. Right. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Yeah, Vidhura means Vidhura Manaha, the Brahma Vidhura. Vidhura means beyond. Yeah, beyond. Brahma Vidhura Manaha, the one that is beyond the movement of the mind, all the time moving. That's what it means. Okay. Oh. Om Namah Shivaya.